Good early morning, YouTube. I think it's about 8:30. I got up around 6:30, and Heidi had just taken off from work. And you can see the sky has changed because it's supposed to be trying to rain all day today at some point, but I think it missed us a little bit. I don't know if that's the case for sure or not.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
I didn't get my delivery like I expected yesterday. And even today, it shows that the delivery is maybe not quite available yet. I do like the fact that I've already got those mounted on the back of the RV. That can allow me to work on these today if I wish, and I may. So bit the bullet yesterday. I hate the idea that I have essentially a perfectly good generator right there that I don't have any money in at all except for the fuel tank, because I did buy an extended fuel tank for that, and I could probably make that work somehow, but I cannot find a generator box to accommodate it. That's the main problem. I can't find a generator box that'll accommodate the generator and the fuel pump. If I did, I could save myself $1,200. But unfortunately, I did spend about $200 on the fuel tank for the generator that I just had to order. So yeah, I've got all that coming. All said and done, with a few other things that are just not related at all to the RV. Man, I'm like $2,500. Like I said, the most of that cost was actually it's $1,300 for the generator. Now I've got a big if, and boy, it's a big if. I know for an absolute fact that our generator that we had before, the Honda 2200, with a micro air easy start installed in the unit on the roof of a Coleman, not a Dometic like we have now, but a Coleman, what we used to, 15,000 BTU air conditioner. I know that the Honda 2200 generator will run that Coleman 15,000 BTU with a micro air easy start in there. I'm taking a huge gamble that I now have a Dometic 15,000 BTU, and instead of a easy start, I got some junk laying around here, micro air easy start, I have the active start, which has a soft start in them. So this basically, it says on it, reduces startup amps by 50%. All right, well, the micro air easy start brags about how it reduces startup by 75%. Maybe it's just numbers, who knows? But that's a concern. There's a good chance that I might be in another $400 because I have to put a micro air easy start on this Dometic. Even that, Micro Air advertises on their website that it takes 2,500 watts to start a 15,000 BTU air conditioner. I'll let you guys be the ones to break the bad news to Heidi. Now, I say that it has nothing to do with Heidi other than we don't like to spend money. She don't like to spend money. I don't like to spend money. So whenever we spend a lot of money and we don't have cash that we're just buying stuff outright, we might be using something out of an account. We usually operate, let me, I guess, share that insight with you. We usually operate that if we're to make a larger purchase of any kind, that we have cash on hand and we pay cash for it. When we don't, then we discuss it between us, because then it's coming out of an account of some kind, our bank account usually, which we have a few, and we don't like to do that. We like to be able to pay cash, so we don't have an account being affected by it, because our accounts, we keep certain balances in there for any kind of emergency funds or anything like that. So yeah, I'll let you guys break the bad news to Heidi if I got to spend another $400. Actually, it's like $312, but still, does it really make a difference at that point? Yeah, yesterday, boy, I really put my my drills through the test. The not drills, but the power things. Woo, man! I mean, I really run them up hard. Boy, some of these batteries are tough to get off, let me tell you now. This supporter cable's charged. All right, let me go put this one near the tool. Yeah, and that one's already got a battery on it. But yeah, that yesterday, that was rough, and I think it was because I was, well, let me tell you, I guess, you know, to be fully transparent on what happened and what you've got to look for if you're doing these kind of installs, is even in the instructions, he's got a really nice little verbiage here. Let me see if I can find it. It's a warning. It's 100% true. A lot of people don't. See here, nothing there. Yeah, here we go. It says drill slowly to keep bits cool and sharp. And it says something about, I can't find it now, but it's basically saying that, you know, drilling, you want to keep slow, nice, steady pressure when drilling, so you don't overheat the bits, so the bits can continue to cut. When you overheat them, it starts negating the sharpness of the bit. Well, the funny part is if you use any of these impact drivers, you've got a slower speed, right? But it's real difficult to do that when you're pushing really hard and you're trying to maintain pressure. So I was running a little bit higher speed than I wanted to, and those self-tapping drill bit or self-tapping bolts, they're essentially the same as a drill bit. You know, they have their own little nicky-knack thing that they'd like to do. They have their own way of cutting into the metal, and if you speed it up too much, it'll soften the bit, or in this case, the screw, the self-tapping screw. So I'm going to dork around with these these brackets, to create shelves on the back of the RV. And yeah, man, these things are so heavy. I mean, I'd have to say that these are probably, that's got to be 3 pounds, possibly 4 pounds. I mean, it's just heavy metal. That's very heavy. That's good. That's good. All right, let me see what these things look like on the on the RV. See if I can just get them on there and get a good idea of how far they're going to be back and what I need to do. Okay, I want to show you something really cool. There's a lot of stuff that's really cool. Man, he's improved this stuff so much since the original design that I had on our last RV. So the brackets are no longer different brackets. It used to be that he had to know if you were running a 4-inch bumper, 5-inch bumper, 6-inch bumper, to what bracket he was going to send you. And if you ever changed RVs down the road, you would have to buy a different bracket. That's kind of what we ran into with our travel trailer, and one of the reasons that the system didn't go back to the dealer. We sold it to another person altogether, because he said he would make those brackets work with his 4-inch bumper design, but it was going to require him to fabricate some stuff. Well, we were on the road. We didn't have, the ability to do that kind of stuff necessarily. So instead of buying new brackets and mounting it on our fifth wheel, again, we already had a rack with that fifth wheel coming, and good thing, because it was a goofy situation anyways. We just, that's why the system didn't follow us along and didn't go to the new RV. This one, however, there's a lot of adjustability. First of all, this is the arm that you get, right? And you can see the length quite a bit. Let's go ahead and see what our measurement is here. So from the edge of the bumper, this thing comes out 27 inches. Now here's the thing, this is adjustable to expand even more. You can bring this out quite a bit if you need to. I can't imagine why you would want to come out, additionally, but I'm sure there's reasons. This thing will expand quite a bit. That's the first thing. Here's the other thing. This is a 3-part bracket right here. Just this part of the bracket, the arm itself. There's this piece here, and then there's a piece that's inside that's connected to the main arm, right? Well, I know that these generator boxes that we're going to run, they're only about 17 inches in depth. So if I go out, let's say halfway on the bumper, and I come out 17 inches. Well, I know if I come out about 17 inches and I'm halfway on the bumper there, not all the way up against the RV, but halfway, right? That's a 17-inch overhang. By removing these other 2 pieces, which saves weight, but I still have an arm, a support arm, because I do want to mount the boxes half over the bumper to give as much support to the box on the bumper. So yeah, it can you believe it? You just remove 2 bolts, and the other pieces then that are here, you don't even have to utilize. And I'll have a 2-inch overhang this way and a 1-inch overhang this way by my current measurements. But here's the other thing that's really nice. If you guys aren't into this and you need to do something different, maybe you need this length and you need to allow this thing to pivot up out of the way. You just pull the pin, this pin right here. I'll show you here. I'll kind of do it with my hand this way. Right? Pin comes out and they fold straight up. And then you can put a pin back in. So I'll show you the pin back in real quick here. Now I have these things just finger tight for the time being until I actually get the boxes here, so we can see what that looks like. But yeah, look, right? So it's mounted straight up and down. You can mount whatever you want on the back, and then when you're not using it, you just fold them up out of the way, which is really a critical thing whenever you're getting into RV parks. It's really tight. So the fact that I'm going to run these short arms, man, that's incredible. This is going to save me so much, not only in weight, but in what's sticking out the back of the RV. And it's nice to know if I need to go bigger, I can. Like I said, you can see the adjustment here. Look at the amount of slot that you have on each side. Let's see how far this thing will actually extend out. Now, again, the more you go out, the further you go out, the less weight that it can handle. You can't have 300 pounds or 400 pounds at the end of the arm. You can't even really have 300 pounds, but just, a foot out, not very far at all. And that again is spread throughout the entire RV bumper. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like with this arm fully extended. Okay, that was quick and easy to do. Man, look at this. Look at how far. So let's just see the full length, including the bumper. I'm out past 34 inches. Look how far out that is. I mean, there's people that may need that. I mean, I get it. They have situations that they require that extra length. And I could see that if maybe here's the thing. Maybe you have some sort of a tray system that you're putting on here. And he has that Jenny Go system that ties in with this, that has all the trays that bolt on. It depends on what your situation is, but maybe you're just wanting to mount a board on here, right? Well, if you're in a situation where you don't need all that, and you're like, okay, that was for my old setup, now I'm with my new setup, you can slide all this in and just cut the excess off on your board. Or maybe you can put multiple boards, if you want to do it that way, and just remove as needed. But I don't know. I just love the fact that it's optioned. And these things are just finger tight, just to let you know. I just have this thing finger tight right now as far as the mount here. Okay, watch this. Right? Ready? I'm sitting on it completely. I mean, it's holding, and you're not supposed to put. I'm 260 pounds, and I was sitting on that thing, and that's just 1 point on the bumper. Anyways, it's just cool. I love the engineering that goes into this stuff and how everything is just, perfect fit. I love the way the brackets go on. You slide them sideways and then twist them to find the groove that they need to mount on. There's holes in the back. If we decide down the road to change RVs, these brackets definitely can go on to whatever we have the next time. And if we decide to upgrade and go to a 5-inch bumper on maybe our next RV, or a 6-inch bumper, I already have the brackets for it. So here's some of the parts that I have for spares. The washers, what they do is he suggests that if you need an angle, like your bumper is already sagging a little bit or pointed down a little bit, you put washers in there, which I did just to accommodate what may happen at some point. And then, of course, these are the brackets that I removed that I can re-add at a later time. But look what I found behind all this cardboard and everything. I thought, you know what, I'm going to look back there. I know I have some paneling from when I repaired the StarCraft camper. Like, maybe there's something back there I might be able to use or I forgot about. And yeah, anyways, here's where the brackets, what they look like. And they're just loosely mounted. They're not tight. And then look, I found a piece of wood that's going to work perfect. Looks like it's a little goofy here, but this distance here, from here to the top of this bracket, and then from here to the top of this bracket is about a 1/2 inch. And he says, well, you can shim it up a 1/2 inch. Well, I don't think I'm going to shim it up. We'll get the overhang just right. And again, you can see this is too much. I only want just maybe a couple of inches here, not whatever that is, 6 inches. So then, of course, at that point I'll just cut it. But what I'll do once I have it all in the place that I want it and marked and everything, I'm going to come underneath here. I'm going to mark the top of these brackets, and I'm just going to cut squares. I'll just cut a square for each bracket. So this will then sit down, it'll sit down on everything and be flush. And they'll actually, this is bigger than 1/2 inch. Just barely, but it's enough that it'll still make it to where that bracket's down below the surface. I'm just waiting for the boxes. They're not going to be delivered today. I have something else coming today. I'm just waiting for FedEx. Nothing like FedEx taking 8 days to ship something from California. 8. Come on. I mean, this is... I remember I used to always say, well, 5 days, whatever's coming from California, it's going to take 5 days to get here. Man, they're adding on days. Come on. let's just say this. It was within 70 miles of the same location in Ohio for over 2 days. Why? What are you guys doing with it? You using it for a card table or something? There's a lot of thinking I still have to do on this. Maybe I'll get that out real quick because I haven't looked. Yeah, unprepared. Talk about unprepared. I haven't even looked at the fuel kit, the fuel tank kit. Man, I'll tell you what. Ralph's stuff is so nice, and I am so happy that you just don't have to think about it. You just follow the instructions. There's not going to be anything weird. It just works. I forgot about this thing. I just ordered. I only paid, see, it's a 12 by 12. I kind of wanted a 14 by 14. But I only paid $2 for this. This was a MacBid thing. So here's the other fuel tank, extended fuel tank. And here's some parts for them. It's for the cap. Here's the, and I'm not 100% sold yet, but it's funny. Whenever I knew I was going to get another companion generator from Honda, I immediately went into Amazon to see if they still offered the exact 30 amp receptacle that I wired in to the Honda. And the reason I did that is so the travel trailer plug plugged directly into the Honda without any additional adapter like this thing here, which I'll show you what it looks like. Because I don't really like running these twist adapters. I don't mind the twist part of it because it does a good job locking into the RV. What I don't like is now I have another contact point, that could come loose. So this here, even though it is twisted and it's locked in the regular 30 amp RV receptacle, I don't like then I have another connection. And then, of course, the cord will be yet another connection where it connects to the RV. It's just, I don't know. Now, a lot of you, I'm sure, are all screaming at the camera. Well, why don't you just take your travel trailer plug and pull it out of the RV and feed it into the box and just plug it in directly? I like to make it a little bit quicker. There's a lot of times that we pull into places and I just want to hook up, start up, and for me to reach in and plug in the RV and all that stuff, I did that. Don't get me wrong, I did that, but it's not as convenient. I guess that's the best way to describe it. And you get yourself caught in the rain. Last thing you want to be is dorking around doing those kind of things. Again, these are worst case scenarios for a lot of this stuff. So here's the other thing I don't like about these twist plugs. They like to have their own way of going in, and sometimes they don't want to tell you what that is. There we go. And it's locked. All right. So, look at that. Was there? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, that's right. He said that this was a demo model. So there was a little bit of gas fumes in there. So here's the thing I'm worried about is the hose and how long it is. And if it's able to make it from the tank over into the box. Yeah, I'm going to try that out. I'm going to do some fitment here, get an idea of what it looks like, and make corporate decisions, such as this vent. I ordered 2 vents that are 14 by 14, but I could go with this one, which is a 12 by 12, and then a 14 by 14. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I said corporate decisions have to be made here. Well, I'll tell you, I was kind of contemplating some of those choices, like I said, with the generator, wanting to run the Honda versus the generator we already have. But now that I just set it up here, and don't just ignore all of this. This is just temporarily. I want to get it cooled off inside the RV. It was 88 degrees. We have storms that are coming. I don't know if you can tell. but something is supposed to happen, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna run this generator because I have been all this time, and just look at the amperage and voltages and stuff like that. And this thing, this RV with the air conditioner running at full blast, pulls a constant 14 amps. At least that's what the active start says. That is with the fan on high. Well, actually it's on automatic. And then I have this fan on as well to help circulate air. I don't know why the door closed here. That's kind of odd. I thought I had that open, but maybe I didn't. Maybe it closed. Yeah, whatever. But the only other thing I have plugged in is the security camera here, our Alfred, which we've run forever. If you guys have old Android devices, get Alfred. You don't have to buy cameras. You don't have to get involved with anything. Just buy Alfred, and we pay for a subscription. I think it was $9 a year. I think it's $19, maybe it's $20 a year now, but I can hook up a whole bunch of old Android devices, and you can buy these things cheap. People don't want older phones, so when you upgrade and you've got an older phone, yeah, so I've got a perfect camera that I can talk through. It can turn on the light. It can do I can switch it to face the other way. I can face this way. I can turn on low light. I can do, you know, I do all kinds of stuff with it, like I would a camera that you would have to pay for. Again, if you have Android devices, whatever, just go try Alfred. We've had it for a long time. Anyways, that's plugged in, and so is our, yeah, that thing, the EasyCom, our master blaster of power. So yeah, if you look at the voltage here, and I'll have to say that it does pull, look at that, 15 amps. So I was concerned about the Honda, you know, being able to do this much. You know, the power, as far as the wattage, we're at 1800. But yeah, the fact that it's pulling 15 amps, I was going over those numbers with you the other day, and I don't think that I got them correct. So let me go over it so you guys know. And this is what I'm kind of contemplating. This generator that I'm running currently, you know, it's a 3200 watt constant, 4000 watt peak. And as far as what it can do, the specifications, running amps is 26.7 amps, and peak amps is 33.3. Now I never see that because I have that active start on there, and that active start breaks that down quite a bit, that, you know, what it would normally be. So it puts out a lot of amps, let's just say that, right? Now let's look at the Honda, and this is where you start playing that game of being really, really close to maybe its maximum. Again, I'd hate to tell Heidi, oh my, this thing's popping, you know, the Honda's not handling it. We need to get a micro air easy start for this rooftop AC. Oh man, that's money, you know. I don't want to spend that kind of money on this RV. I like the idea that that device just plugs in and it goes wherever I go. So I've got to play that game. But I'm doing all this stuff so you guys don't have to. You can figure it out. So basically, I'm taking a gamble that the Dometic rooftop AC unit that's 15,000 BTU uses the exact same amount of amps as the Coleman 15,000 BTU rooftop AC unit. If it uses more, then I might be in trouble, because I know the Colemans, you know, the Mach 3s or whatever they worked flawless when we were on the road with that Honda generator. It doesn't mean they're going to work flawless here. And not only that, but I'm going to have to spend $300 on a new thermostat to replace this Dometic piece of junk that's on the wall, because it is so inconsistent. So if I've got to spend $300 for a new wall thermostat, and if I spend $300 on micro or easy start, $600, I'm more than halfway to a rooftop AC unit. Especially if I buy a used one, I could get one pretty inexpensive. And I don't care if it's used, as long as it works. That's all I care about. But you know, you see where I'm getting at. But anyways, what I wanted to point out more than anything else is that the generator, it's pretty solid here. It's, as far as the vibration, you can feel it in the RV. Of course, we're not finished with the box back there and mounting it and all that stuff, but I don't know if I would like to have this big generator back there. If I had to put a big generator back there, shoot, I'd put my Champion. I mean, I would assume that the Champion's 110 pounds, that if I get it close enough to the RV, I would have to do something about an extended run, but I could. I know that it runs the AC unit for roughly 12 hours on a propane tank, on a full 20-pound propane tank. I can get about 12 hours of runtime for the Champion. However, you know, propane's a little bit more expensive, and it's not like I can, when I'm fueling up the truck, I can get another propane tank necessarily. Some gas stations, obviously, you can, but anyways, that's just what I touched base on. Heidi's going to get off work today at 6 like normal. She's off tomorrow. We've got errands to run that we've got to do. Man, we're really busy. We're really busy. I just had a review dropped off here from FedEx, and I got to get that done because I've got a whole bunch of stuff to do reviews on, or shoot video of, and all that, this whole project that I've got going on back there. It's busy. I love the summer though, and I love the fact that I'm staying busy. If not, I would be inside watching TV, eating. I hate the winter. I hate when it's cold, and I can't do any of this stuff. The rain, that's a downer, but man, I'll tell you, I'll take the hot and the rain occasionally more than the consistent cold that keeps me inside, because I hate it. I hate trying to work when it's cold. And not only that, a lot of things aren't happening in the winter, that we can do these projects, or we even need to. This thing would be totally winterized. It'd be wrapped up, put away in the pole building. What project would I be doing on that, that is of any importance to you guys? Unless I was doing a remodel inside or something. I don't know. I'm just saying that it's something. I don't know what to think about it as of right now, because for the last 3 years that we've been back up north here, or the last 3 winters, I'm having a rough time. I don't like the winter. I hate the winter, and it just puts such binders on me to getting stuff done. All right, how did that turn into some kind of a weird emotional rant thing? Heidi's in her natural habitat. She's been off all day today, which she's allowed to, and this is where she sat all day. She didn't do any laundry. She didn't get any groceries. She didn't go to the doctors. She didn't get her car washed. She didn't clean off the kitchen counter. She didn't work in the basement.
I did go through one room today, and I'll probably go straighten up in there. I didn't start the dishwasher.
Yeah, it's running.
I know.
Oh, the thing that she's talking about is yard sailing. But she's going to go to work tomorrow, and it's getting closer to.
We have like 2 weekends off in a row.
Yeah, and a bunch of days on the second group of weekend. But we have work to. Well, I have a lot of work to do. So yeah, let's go outside. Say hi to Heidi. Bye to Heidi. We'll run into her again. Doesn't seem like it though. Seems like that we never catch her at home. I gotta get a hat I gotta bring some stuff out. Was there something else that I was supposed to bring out to the RV?
I have some stuff. I don't know. Do you want me to come out with it?
Yeah, the crowd would love that.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Like, sure. Oh, you got to wear your Captain Chaos hat today or whatever.
I did.
Yeah, I don't see the...
Almost got the kitchen table cleaned off. Anyway.
It still looks okay.
I'm
I'm gonna turn off fan. I'm tired of the fan running.
Yeah. Tired. I do that at work. Tired of listening to it. Somebody's burning.
It's Blue Oyster Cult. I'm burning for you. I had to close this door. Okay. Ay. It does almost smell like a border. Oh, never mind. I found it. Ooh, they got some good burning going on over there. Welcome to the nice, cool RV. Feel how nice it feels in there.
Yeah.
Right? And I've got the air set up. Look at what it says on the thing. 71. This is why this thing sucks. I have the air set on 71 in here. I've got this vent right here pointed away. It's 71 in here, and look at what I've got this thing set on. I've got it set on 78. And it's 70, it cooled it to 71. That's just ridiculous. So we're gonna go into the garage and we'll feel the temperature of the corded stuff. Because I had that running, I just have that running off the garage. You know, I have those helping hands, right? You know what I'm saying? The devices, the helping devices. You can see I went ahead and plugged in the, I know this looks funny, but I did this at the old house. Yeah, a lot of you guys, how many of you, you know what, just place in the comments if you like watching us. I know a lot of you are regulars, and we always get comments of, hey, you know, love watching you guys, the whole thing, which we appreciate greatly. But I'm kind of curious, how many of you are watching us regularly and you weren't watching us when we were still at our other house before we hit the road full time? So I had this set up. I know it looks funky, but I had this set up in our old house over in Beloit, and we didn't have this kind of electrical service that we do out here in this garage. But I did check all the wiring. I have a clamp amp that's coming just to double check. Ooh, spider. Got him. But yeah, so let's go ahead and follow what I've got going on here. The cord that is running this way, it's a 30 amp cord, a TT 30 amp cord that goes all the way out to, obviously, to the RV. Okay. However, it plugs into an adapter that goes from a 30 to a 50, and this is a 50 here. And then that's a 50 that comes out on this side, that's a 50, and it plugs into a 30, or an adapter that goes from 50 to 30, and then the 30 goes to 110. And I just have it plugged into the 110 outlet. So I'm sure a lot of you are like, oh, I don't think you should be running that. Listen, it's 90 degrees today. The humidity's through the roof. The RV is at 71, and this is the extent of what's going on. I don't know if you can see this, but ready? Let's see what just the wall is, okay? Like right here. So you can see it's 85. I mean, it's just 85 in the garage, right? So let's go to the hottest part right here. I'm going to point right at the the thing that's the hottest, 88. So it's not even 87. The hottest I could get that up to was 106. So even though it looks like it's all janky Mickey Mouse there,
Well, it's because you have that thing running.
it worked. Well, not only that, but I do have the, what's that other thing called? What's that other thing called? The active start. Yeah, the active start is over here. I meant to tell you. We also have that.
Use it.
And you can see it's, yeah, so far it's working. So we've got a big test coming up soon, and that's that Honda generator. But you see the brackets?
Nice.
Isn't it cool that you can fold them up now?
Yeah, that is.
And look, I don't know if you noticed, but God, I can't breathe. Look at our backyard.
Yeah, it's
Smoke's coming over pretty bad.
Yeah.
So anyways, what I was going to say is, look at how short they are. I took off those extensions because I don't need them.
Right.
I want to bolt it back over the bumper so we can put some decent weight back there.
Yeah. Is this all level?
No. But here's the thing.
The wood can make it level.
Ralph said, hey, you can bolt right over the bumper. You just have to put a 1/2 inch shim.
Oh.
Right? 1/2 inch shim.
Right.
I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm taking a board and I'm measuring it out. Once I find the boxes where they need to be, I can then mount these things. Then I'm going to run the holes for the boxes to match up with the holes here, right?
Right.
Then I'm going to mount the board and I'm going to cut big squares. I'm cutting squares out where those rises are, right here.
Right.
I'm going to cut squares. Here, can you put this in there?
Yeah, this is smoking.
Yeah, we got it. Go ahead. Did you lock the RV?
No.
The key's right inside the door. Me and Heidi rode our bikes today. Yeah, this is bad. I can't breathe.
Yeah, go back in. I'll be in.
Yeah, this is really rough, guys. I don't know if you can see.
Turn that side off, please.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time breathing. It's the square one. She's still asking me what color. Like I'll know the color. That's funny. She goes, "Is it the purple key?" I don't know. It could be the super duper pink key. I don't know. Whew, that smoke is bad. No, I don't know what he's burning. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I don't care that he's burning. It looks like that he's cleaning. You know that it's.
I think he's burning wood.
It's not hot
And
enough.
it's not.
And the humidity is. You see how the smoke's just hanging out.
I shouldn't be burning anything right now.
Yeah, it's
So
right
dry.
time. It's right time. It's past 6.
Maybe they have no burning at all.
No, you have the state of Ohio. It's after 6 p.m. But look at that! Wow, man, he's really got that smoke roaring. It's bad. Heidi's gonna look it up because she don't trust me. What'd they say? Right now, it's in Ohio. It's after 6.
Yeah, 6 a.m. to
6 p.m. Well, no, it's 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.,
Wow.
which is weird.
It's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. that you
You're
can't
not
work.
allowed, right? So, I got a lot of stuff coming. I have a review to do. We have to get ready for this yard sale. I have to clean out one side of the garage, and I need to do the project on the RV. And there's something else we need to do. I don't remember what it was. But, all right, that's enough. Do you got anything to say to our fans?
No.
What do you think about making the RV where we can travel and just pull off side of the road again?
Well, we're going to have to do that. I mean, last time we bought that for on the road stuff, and we
used it.
We used it, but we didn't use it as much as we should.
Well, it's because we had a free membership at that point. Yeah. But I can't wait. Like I said, what do you think about if we when we do get to the point where we can schedule a trip? That
we'll be doing this 6 hours this way, 6 hours this way, 6 hours this way.
No, it's not as
See
much.
how far we can go.
No. What I'm saying is that we just make no plans.
Well, we did that before.
I know. It was one of our better vacations. Here's the thing that made that vacation really great, though. Really, really great. Heidi had a lot of vacation days. That's one. We had excess money laying around that was extra that made it nice. One of the reasons was because we had the old truck and the old trailer. Mm-hmm. We'd done enough work on that stuff to get, even that though, we had that breakdown, remember, that I had to fix that coil.
Was it DGR?
No, it was the Tennessee was a problem with the fuel pump, but Florida was kind of a problem with the fuel pump too, but more importantly it was the coil horseshoe connector for the coil.
Oh yeah.
The wire came out of it.
Yeah.
But anyways, the other thing, which Heidi's going to agree to 100% on this one, the other thing that made that vacation really nice was
no slides.
I was weighed 215 pounds.
Well, yeah, I weighed less too.
You weighed a lot less also, and we were so much more comfortable. Even though we didn't have air conditioning in that RV, and we were
actually 5 pounds lighter than I was 3 years ago.
And I don't know how many pounds did I tell you?
You know, when I went to the doctor's today, my A1C was 10, and then it was 9.5, then it was 7, and now it's 6.5.
Cool. And you weren't taking.
I was under my weight that I am now. So were you. At the beginning of me being a diabetic, I lost like 30 pounds. And then I fell off the wagon.
We both fell off the wagon. Yeah. It's because we get busy. It's just
and
real hard.
We need to just eat differently. Honestly, I think that meals need to be a thing of the past until we lose our weight. Just need to eat little snacks, healthy stuff.
Well, it's the only way it's going to work because you eat on your schedule. I eat on my schedule,
right?
And we're trying to.
Hungry.
Rarely. And Heidi's like, "What do you want for dinner?" It's like, I'm really not hungry. I just ate. Seems like I just ate. But here's the thing: I know that if I don't tell her something, then I don't have food. So then I won't eat later.
End up overeating.
Yeah, we end up overeating. So, anyways, we are. I was at 300 pounds.
Apparently our scales maybe are 2 pounds heavy.
Yes, I know. I knew that. So I was 300 pounds with the scales before, when they were not heavy, they were light. Because I had lost a bunch of weight and the scales showed that I lost a decent amount of weight at the time. I should say a bunch. I lost some weight. Then when I went to the VA and they told me what my weight was, I'm like, holy cow, that is like 6 pounds heavier than what these scales said. Well, then I fixed that bar on the bottom of the scale that had come loose and I put new batteries in it. And I cleaned it up. And that's whenever I got on, it's like, it's heavier. This is what it was reading closer to what I was at the VA. Mm-hmm. So anyways, now that they're heavier, it's saying I weigh, well, the way I ate the last couple of days, probably going to be about 262, but I'm usually up around 259. So
yeah, I just need to go back to my snacks at work because I could make it all day on the snacks, like, just different things.
Yeah, freaking beef sticks and your cheese.
Yeah, and the reason I'm kind of sick of them, so I need to find something else. But yeah, I'd get 2 beef sticks and a couple small slices of cheese, and help that would carry me over for a couple hours. Then maybe I'd have some carrots or something, and
I just got to keep projects going. Yeah, I just got to keep stuff doing.
Myself, I need to keep busy to work, and I need to keep busy when I'm.
And I got to quit having my own personal private door dasher that will run every single time that she even makes a mention of something. Hey, I'm going to Walmart. You want something? Yeah. Bring me back all this stuff. You know, the one thing I haven't broke down and got ice cream. Boy, that's tough. You guys realize that I ate at least 3 times a week. At least 3 times a week. I would eat in one sitting during that 3 times a week, 3 nights out of the week, I'd eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's. She would bring it home, I would eat it, and then watch some TV, and then go to bed. And I would do that, I'm not exaggerating, ask Heidi, at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it was like 4 times, 5 times a week.
And that was like 1,400 calories or whatever it is.
And that was in addition to the fact that she had just brought home McDonald's.
Yeah,
we
warded off the McDonald's.
Yeah, now our fast food, let's see. I did do a Dave's Double and a chili the other day. That was my first real fast food that I've had in a long time.
I had Arby's and then I paid for it for the rest of the day, so I'm warding off the regular big box.
You know what we noticed that you can eat quite frequently and it doesn't seem to affect you health-wise is Mexican.
Yeah.
Not Taco Bell, but like Mexican. You know, we just rice and beans.
I do street tacos and rice and beans, and he does tacos, enchilada rice and beans.
Yeah, and I don't eat hardly any of the shell.
Yeah. It seems to be easy.
Chipotle, the Powerball thing.
Yeah.
And then you make those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll tell you what I need to stay away from, and it just reminded me, was when you did the Jersey Mike sub. I don't know why I think that's healthy on some level.
It's not.
And
but it's got to be healthier than McDonald's.
Yeah, well, we don't, like I said, no McDonald's, no Burger King. I did do a cheeseburger from Burger King one time. I just ate the burger out of it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, well, we haven't. It's mostly Mexican.
By the time this video's up, they won't know. They'll know afterwards. HEIDI.
Let's go on the West Branch.
Yeah, they're going to be out at West Branch, him and his wife.
Heading
Pat.
my way.
Yeah. Heading my way. Yeah, is their username. And they were talking about, we can cook stuff for you, right? We need to all pile in your car.
And go where?
Swenson's.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I tell them, because we're not that far.
Yeah, we'll just have to eat in the car, unless we can go to a park or something.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'd go to West Branch.
Well, that's too far to drive.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. No, I mean, that's where we're going to go anyways. We're going to be at West Branch. We're going to go to...
Unless we brought it to them.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. That's what it is. We'll ask them what they want and have them look at the menu.
Or they can ride along with us. We give them choices.
Yeah. And then, then, though they'll eat, I don't mind eating it if it's cold. That's my thing.
There's some people that...
Yeah, right. But anyways, as soon as I seen that, I'm like, oh yeah, we do Swenson's for sure. So that's it for now. We'll have Heidi say bye again, and we'll pick this up. Who knows what I got going on? But I'll tell you one thing that's real nice. I have a feature on my phone, Ask Heidi, or on my camera, that it's a storage thing that they have, and it's because I bought the camera. That I get free storage up to a certain amount. Man, all I do is plug my camera in to charge it. Once it gets above, I think it's 80% my camera then connects to the internet automatically, and it uploads all these videos to the cloud. So then when I want to edit video, I don't have to sit and wait for my camera to upload them all to the computer, and then once they're all uploaded to the computer, start editing them. I already have them on the computer in the cloud, and I can just start basically importing them or exporting them from the cloud, however you want to look at it, into my computer, and it's not a big deal at all. So I like that. I like that feature a lot. Okay, that's enough talking, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. Well, it sure does look like rain today, don't it? It is raining. Good thing I just asked Alexa, is it going to rain today? Nope. You only have a 10% chance of rain, and that's not till later. It is very, very fine rain. I don't even know if the camera will pick this up. I mean, it's not even really landing on me. I don't know how to describe that. I mean, I guess I can feel it, but look, it's so light. Really, 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 really light. I mean, it's probably evaporating as fast as it's landing. I don't know. You know what? I just noticed this. I got a peephole in my garage door. Some spiders. Let's see if I got them off me. Yeah, there's a big net web here. Heidi's back at work, so that means I've got to do work myself. I've got a lot of stuff that's going on, though. Let me move this. It's funny how I'm working on one thing, and then I'm moving it out of the way, then I'm working on something else. This is the gas tank, by the way, that's going on that Honda, or that'll be used with the Honda. Go ahead and put this out of the way. Burp. All right, and let's take our bike lights. I guess I can leave those here. The brackets here, yeah, I'm still working with that. You know what? I don't like this camera angle, and I hate moving the joystick around to keep you guys in focus. I know it does a pretty good job, but let's see if I can do something different here. Tell me if that's any better. That's supposed to be better lighting. I ordered something that may negate the need for me to change that Honda over to this TT30, but I still have it. I'm gonna kind of put that in my back pocket, not literally, but you know what I'm saying. So I need to do the review on this thingy. The golf cart needs to be kind of out of here though, because I'm running out of space. As soon as I get the review done on this, I'm pretty much free for cluttering up the garage. I know that sounds funny looking at the clutter, but what I mean is I'll be able to kind of start staging the garage for a yard sale or garage sale or a combination of both. And the way that I'm going to do that is by taking everything in the garage and just start pushing it, the stuff that is not for sale, pushing it all to the corners and covering up as much as possible, or yeah, maybe covering it up. I mean, I guess I could cover the stuff up. And the only reason is I mentioned this before, and we went to a yard sale yesterday that was up the street. Heidi and I took our bikes. Heidi took her bike, and then I just hopped on one of the big one, the one with the longer seat there. And we went up the street, and we went to a yard sale. And it's funny because your eyes just naturally gravitate toward, looking at all the stuff in the garage, even though that's not for sale. And I don't like that. I don't like that idea. I don't know why. It's not like I don't trust people. It's just, why are you looking, in this case, why are you looking at my tools? Why those aren't for sale? It's just one of those things. And I'm not real hip on that. There's now that I look at the garage, it looks pretty cluttered up with all these frickin' cables and stuff hanging from. Speaking of which, God, talk about ADHD. Look, squirrel. I forgot this thing's sagging down. I need to re-secure that up there. Let me grab the stool. See how it gets sidetracked right away? But I'm going to see if I can squeeze in a review today and do that. This is, by the way, what we picked up at the garage sale up the street. We have that little one, and we've been spraying weeds so much that I told Heidi, I said, boy, it'd be nicer if we had a bigger one. And the guy had like 3. He had a smaller one like this, and then he had 2 like this. And Heidi says, maybe we should try them out. Well, she's pretty darn smart, because I wouldn't have tried it out. I would have just chose this one right away because it had a metal wand and it had a brand name on it. The hose looked a little better, but the other one looked like it might have been a little bigger possibly, but it had a plastic one, and the hose was just a black vinyl like this stuff here. And I told Heidi, I said, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And she did look at them, and it's funny because the one that was right next to this one, when she pulled the handle up, you could see the instead of being a nice shiny chrome, it was all pitted and everything on the shaft that runs the pump. And I told her, I said, yeah, I'm glad you looked at that. I'm not that I would have picked that one anyways, but it could have just easily then been this one. So we checked this pump, and the shaft on that's perfect. Let me go out to the RV and open it up. Yeah, I seen a bunch of weird clouds over the house or this area. I got a lot of deliveries coming today, by the way. I'm finally getting a couple of the more important deliveries. What I mean by that is, oh, Heidi, oh, that's weird. I don't think she knew how to lock this. Yeah, because this shouldn't be turned sideways like that. It should be straight up and down. Well, to her defense, I always have to do it a few times to figure it out, number one. And number two, the reason that I don't, or that we wouldn't know necessarily what those are and how it's actually to be turned is because we've always had, keypads. There's something. What do you guys think about the extent of fixing this up? And what I mean is, how far would you go with just something you go camping with occasionally? Because, of course, on a long trip, you can see I've already got this whole thing going on, right? This is a pretty decent investment in time and money, too, for that matter. But the benefit that it plays whenever we're out on the road obviously makes a lot of sense for me to do that because it frees up. Okay, for example, a week's long travel, just traveling for a week, right? If I'm traveling for a week, I potentially could have to pay for, and I'm talking 7 days. So I would have to potentially pay for 5 days of stay somewhere. And they average about $45 a night, I'm assuming. Used to be 30, used to be 20 something, but I'm thinking that we're closer to about $40, $45 a night for a stay for full hookups. So if I'm doing that for 5 nights, you see where I'm into the $200 range right away, $300 range with taxes and everything. Well, this box setup, once it's finished, we can just stay the night wherever we feel. So the other thing that I need to do with this, and it's because we talk about this, if you have options, if you have features, it's hard to get away from not having them. I'm prepped for the camera back here. We had the camera, and I got used to the camera, and I towed safer with the camera. Not so much for backing up, although it helps. It helps with your distance. You can tell how far you are from something. But more importantly, knowing when the vehicles that you're passing, you're clear of and you're able to get over. So that. And the whole reason I'm even mentioning it is because what I just said, we always had keyless entries to our RVs, and we got used to that, not having a key, being able to push a remote, whatever. Not only that, but that thermostat that's in there on this AC unit is a piece of junk. The thermostat I'm used to having is the one that's connected to the Wi-Fi, the one that I can turn on my air, turn on whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I'm wanting to be at. And that's when I'm not at the RV. So Should you invest in that? You got to figure that's probably about $180. That thermostat thing, that's $300. That rear camera thing, you're talking about $400. Do you see where all this adds up? And this is for a camper. Now, if you're full timing, I say those stuffs, that's no brainers, because the convenience of, like Heidi, whenever we got to a rest stop, or we pulled off the side of the road, she says, hey, I have to use the bathroom. Obviously you want to use your own bathroom. And the way this is set up, and the way all of our RVs were set up, was you could get to the bathroom with the slides in, just pulling over the side of the road. This is no exception. The thing is now she's got to fumble with keys. I've got to hand her keys. Maybe the keys are on my key ring. Maybe they're in my pocket, whatever. If you got keyless entry, you don't need it. Or what about, let's say we're going to eat lunch in the RV, but we're going to use the public bathrooms. Let's say we pulled into a Pilot Flying J, and I went ahead and I pulled up to the pump. I got gas. I went over to the dump station. Maybe I dumped my tanks, and then I parked the RV in the RV parking area. And Heidi says, hey, listen, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to get something to eat. Do you want to go inside and do the same? Well, maybe. Why don't you just grab me a sandwich from the machine, or grab me one of those chicken meals or whatever. I'll go in with you, but I'm just going to use the bathroom inside the truck stop. And the reason maybe is because I just need to take a leak, and I just emptied my tanks, and I don't want to mess with that, for the next 800 miles of that being in my black tank. I'm just giving you a scenario, okay? Maybe Heidi comes back to the RV before I do, or maybe I come back to the RV before she does. We don't have to worry about who's got the keys. It don't make a difference who's got the keys. I'll tell you the other situation that comes out really handy. When you go to a location, like we were at Coral Sands in Ormond Beach. We camped on the beach, or the lot is right next to the beach. When we left the RV, I didn't have to worry about carrying keys. I just had, my bare feet, pair of shorts, a tank top, or a light colored top. And we just left, and we just let it, lock up. It didn't make a difference. We didn't have to hide our key or anything. Okay, the camera's getting wet. Let me do what I need to do here. I should finish what I was saying, though. And that's, how far do you go with your modifications if you're just camping, if you're just doing camp? I think some of those things are really, really nice. Sorry, just covered you guys up. I think some of those things are really, really nice to have. Even if you're just a camper. I don't know. It's so hard to say. It really is hard to say. Okay. Again, let me do what I'm doing. And that's trying to stay focused. Grab my phone real quick. You'll see why in a second. And yeah, so we got the generator delivered here. I still can't believe how expensive they are. In the future, I think I'm going to most likely be doing a video showing how to defeat the CO2 thing on this. And I would only do that if you're putting it inside of a box, like I am. But this kind of interrupted what I was doing. And just to give you a hint, or just to show you what is involved, I'm in the middle of filming and shooting a review for this bike that I'm assembling, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff you guys never see, and I thought, I might as well touch on this real quick and show you. So battery charging, going through the hardware, making sure that the book shows basically how to assemble this thing correctly, figuring out stuff that's not covered in the manual. But yeah, in the meantime, then I've got, a generator that pops up and gets delivered. And I've got also a couple of boxes that are being delivered today, I think through UPS, and that's the generator boxes. So all that's happening today, and I've got to kind of squeeze it in relatively quick because, I got to get this done first. I still haven't eaten. I have to squeeze that in. And I know you guys are like, oh, your life is so difficult. It's not. It's just sometimes you get used to moving at your own pace, and then you're forced to move a little faster, and it's a little tougher. It makes it a little, I don't know, a little less fun. You should have fun at your job on some level. I know that's a hard concept to some people. Work that's why it's called work. But I think that if you can find the job that you kind of like, and it doesn't annoy you too much, it makes it a little bit easier. You got to choose. Do you want to work your butt off and get rich? Do you want to cheat people and get rich? Do you want to lie to people for a living and get rich? Or do you just want to survive? If you just want to exist, if you just want to, be able to do the basic things that you want to do, then that requires a different level of being committed to do those rich things versus just surviving. And this is just surviving. That's all we're doing. Heidi, she's working her butt off because she likes to stay busy. I don't think the money has a driving factor to it, but she loves to stay busy, and her job keeps her busy. And it's something a little different every day, but she does also like a routine. I mean, I can almost buy, just Swiss clock. You can almost guarantee that she's out the door about the same time every day, and she has her routine that she does every day. But she does like that variety that dealing with customers offer. So, yeah, like I said, I know I went into a whole different thing, but I thought I would just touch base with you and show you this is the kind of stuff that you got to do sometimes. Here it is, right out of the box. FedEx dropped it off, and yeah. You would think I would learn to keep these things, I guess, right? I mean, this is the third Honda that I've had, brand new. The first one, no, scratch that. Yeah, the first one I bought off Sully dude. It was brand new. Sully, you could probably tell the story in the comments better than I can. I think I remember you hit the road relatively quick for your very first year, and you threw everything in your rig. You were pulling your Jeep. Everything was new. You had a new Class C. You had a new Jeep. You sold your home, and you had a couple of these Hondas, but you left one of them at your campsite up north. And then you went to Texas, and then on your way back, I bought it off you. I think that's the way it went. And yours had the security bracket up here, if I remember correctly. I think. I don't remember, but I know it was brand new, and I got a hell of a deal. You got me one hell of a deal. I could have passed it up. I sold that one. I sold that one in the same condition that I bought it from you. I didn't do anything with it. And then a couple years later, or maybe it was a year later, probably about a year later, is when I decided I was going to try to run one of the rooftop air conditioners off of the Honda. And I was going to build that whole box system with mountain lock and all that stuff. And I went out and bought another brand new one. Now, back then they were not, they didn't have these CO2 minders. And there was some other difference also. I can't remember what it was, but they were different. I just remember they were different. And this one has Bluetooth, I think. Yeah, it says Bluetooth right here. I'll have to check that out, see what the app is like. Woo, they're going to be fancy. So anyways, then when we were getting out of our travel trailer and into our fifth wheel, and I had that solar on top of the fifth wheel, and I knew we weren't going to be boondocking necessarily. If I could, we were okay with what we had, because we had a Champion generator. and that Champion was sitting in the bed of the truck. Again, it was a whole different situation there. Well, that's a good question, I guess. Would I buy this Honda if I had a fifth wheel? Well, in my case, the answer to that is definitely no, because I have the Champion back here. I have, the Champion 3500 watt that somebody said they don't even make anymore at all. You can't get it regardless. This is a great generator. I don't know what the situation would be that I'd have to sell it. I don't know if there is one. So the fact that I have that one, yeah, I don't think that I would use this with the fifth wheel. Yeah, I have to think about that. But let's say I didn't have any generator. Let's say that's what you guys are doing right now. You don't have a generator and you don't know which one to buy. Make sure you figure out how you're going to utilize it and how convenient you want it to be. Because what I'm getting ready to build here is definitely not hard, but it's definitely not convenient either. But I do like the convenience that it offers once I'm done. And that is just, it's secure. I don't have to think about it. It's got a place. I don't have to unload it, load it, whatever. I just have to basically refuel it, but I have the solution to that, to where I just have to refuel the can, not the generator. And yeah, I mean, there's different ways to think about it, but you need to figure out what you want to do. So I guess, just to be short about it, 100%, my Champion, I have a big exhaust pipe that connects to the Champion and will plumb out the back of the truck. So I can leave, and you could see this in my past videos, if I had a fifth wheel and if this was a Super Duty, I can leave the fifth wheel hooked up, drop the tailgate, and just take the generator and scoot it out just a little bit, and then take the exhaust pipe and route it out. The heat that's coming off the exhaust of these things is darn, and when I say exhaust, I'm not talking about engine exhaust. I'm talking about cooling exhaust coming out of these fins. That's a lot of heat. You don't want to, you want to keep that free. You want to make sure that that's flowing as best as possible. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying, since I have that Champion set up, that is perfect for me. I know that it will work with the fifth wheel. It worked perfect. I had it all, in lack of a better word, chained up. Let me show you, because you guys never really seen that, because I always kept that, out of the way, sort of. I know this bike rack's kind of confusing here, seeing that. I don't know if I can get it off here. There we go. You see all that cable? All that cable was wrapped around the Champion generator, one way or the other. Well, actually, one way and another. It was wrapped all around it, to where somebody was going to have to cut a lot of cable to get that Champion out of the bed of the truck. And it just went through one of these hooks here, these brackets that Ford has. I'm going to try to get you positioned correctly. These brackets right here that Ford has, yeah, that's where it was hooked up to. And I had no doubt that nobody was going to take it. Plus the fact that as soon as they unplugged it, I would have heard it. Second of all, I had a camera that was outside looking at the generator whenever we had the tailgate dropped and we were going to bed for the night. So I had a camera on it. I had a camera in the truck that was showing the whole front of the truck and everything around it. And then I had the fact that it was right outside the door. I should be able to hear it run a little bit. And as soon as somebody unplugged it, the air would have stopped and I would have known. So we didn't really have to worry about that. The only thing I worried about was weather. So that's why I have the cover that's on it that I just showed you back there, that cover back there. That's the way it's set in the rain. But whenever I was running it and it was raining, I had to rely on the overhang of the fifth wheel to keep it dry. All right. For travel trailers, though, that Champion's awful heavy. I mean, this one's like 40 some pounds, 47 pounds, I think it is. I'll have to double check that. But that Champion, that's 110 pounds, I believe. That's a lot of weight on a bumper. I mean, that's a lot. Now, as far as security, though, and, you know, I don't know, nobody's going to wheel off 110 pounds as easy as they could with this thing. And people see these and they know that every pawn shop in the world will give them $300 for it if it's in halfway decent condition. So it's kind of, you know, one of those things you got to be careful of. So anyways, whenever we got rid of the travel trailer, moved into the fifth wheel, was running the Champion generator. At that point, we sold our generator setup that I'm now trying to recreate at less of a cost. Let's just say it that way, less of a cost. It's still, the generators got pretty much more expensive or the same as, they're holding their value pretty good. And you can get generators that are pretty decent for a lot less now. So if you wanted to and you didn't mind, I mean, this thing does have an extended gas tank, or, you know, like you can hook up to an extended gas tank. I bought the extended gas tank and I bought the fuel pump that goes to this. It wasn't as reliable. I ran the generator for hours, and I'm talking like 12 hours, and the fuel pump worked fine. And then it stopped working, and I don't know why. It just quit working. So that's why I'm doing all this, because if not, I would try to make this work. This generator, you can buy this generator on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. You can get this generator for like $600 right now, brand new. I think it's less than that. I think it's like $540. Well, then you can buy the fuel pump, the electric fuel pump that looks like this, all right? And then that just goes in place of the cap that's on there. Then you just hook a 12-volt battery up to it. It don't even have to be a big battery. I just use this jumper pack. And this jumper pack's probably too much. I don't even think I need that. And then I have this gas tank right here that connects to it. I might get the gas fumes. There's a little bit of gas in there, not very much. But it's essentially the same thing. It's just it wasn't as reliable as the Honda was. And the fact that I can buy an exhaust for this, which I've already got, it's going to be delivered today. If it hasn't already, it might be delivered up on the porch. I should go look. But yeah, I need to weld on to this exhaust pipe here. A stub, basically, a little stub. And then there's an exhaust pipe that clamps to it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They make all kinds of stuff for the Honda because it's been around forever. You can buy a box made specifically for Honda. I just didn't like the ones that were out there, and they were charging way too much money for them. I mean, literally, there's one right now, I think, over in Ravenna, a company that specializes in manufacturing, fabricating aluminum. And they advertise that they have a box for the Honda, and I think it's like $800. First of all, I think that's kind of expensive, but getting to where just a buyer's box cost $500 all by itself, that's way too expensive for just a regular box. But nonetheless, even if their box was worth it as far as it being manufactured and put together already for the Honda just to go in there, I didn't like the way it was engineered. I don't think that the cooling was good enough for what these things see as far as heat when they're in a box. So I opted not to do that. I love it. No oil and engine. Wonder how many people don't read that and still try to start it. Anyways, I got to put some oil in it. Obviously, I hope I have 1030 floating around here. If not, I'm going to have to hop in the old truck here and go hippity hop somewhere. Yeah, I honestly don't know if I have 5W30. I know that. 530, 530, 530. Let's see what this is. That's transmission. That's old ATF. This is some sort of antifreeze. That's cleaner. This oil down here was on sale. That's 5W30. Uh-oh. The old 1030's not showing up too well. What's this here? 020. That's transmission fluid. That's bar and chain oil. That's transmission fluid. I don't think that I have 1030. Out of all the things, can you believe that? I think this is 1030 here, but that I don't even know what that it's clean oil, it's good oil. Man, I don't believe it. I'm gonna actually have to go get some oil. What's back there? Is that more antifreeze? Yeah, it's antifreeze. Oh crap. Look at me not being freaking ready for this. Oh man. Well, I got the truck out. I just take the generator out and set it on the ground and go pick up some Earl. Heidi's gonna hate it. She's gonna be hating that I bought oil somewhere other than her work. Yeah, I don't have 10W30. I thought we had a case of it, to be honest with you. I thought we'd bought a case of 1030 and just had it sitting around here. Now, here's the thing. Over the years, you know, these vehicles have changed so much. My 94 F-150 took 1030. My Lincoln Town Cars took 1030. My mowers took 1030. My, which the mower out in the garage is 1030, or out in the pole building. But I had my 95 F-150 took 1030. My 97 F-250 took 1030. Our son's van took 1030. His Buick Century, which became my Buick Century, that was 1030. My wife's Buick LeSabre took 1030. So we always had it laying around. You know, we always had some available. And shoot. My bad. All right. Well, I know if I wanted to, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to do that because I don't like that idea. I could run 530 in here. It would just be too thin when it was cold, but as soon as it got hot, it would be the right viscosity. But when it's thin, I don't like that too much. You know, or when it's cold, it's a little too thin. Yeah, darn it, crap, man. What was I thinking? You know what though? I think I have to go get gas anyways. Yeah. Okay, well, I got another reason to go. I need to get fuel because I have a 6-gallon can that needs fuel that runs this thing. And I need gas for the mower, which I think I ran out of gas for the mower in one can. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have like 5 gallons back there in the garage, but I want in the pole building, but I want to leave it in the pole building for the next time I need it for the mower. And if I got to go out, might as well do that. Man, I'll tell you, it's so funny how that stuff works. I'm going to show you how not to change the oil or get the oil started in your brand new Honda generator. But I do this the same way every time, and it works every single time. And this is because all the years I worked as a small engine mechanic, you start learning shortcuts and ways to get stuff done that doesn't require all this finesse. So in this case, I'm talking about putting oil in the generator for the first time. Now, sometimes there's oil, what appears to be oil in the generator when you first get it, and that's exactly right. Well, this is a little different. I think I remember the old one having a pad here. I thought there was a pad. I'll have to go back and look at my old videos. For some reason I thought there was a sound pad. Maybe I'm thinking of another generator. Anyways, you can see, wow, oh my word, look how big they made this. This is, of course, the first time I've looked at the EU2200i with the CO2 minder and the Bluetooth app and all that stuff, because I had the other ones that, man, they used to be real hard to get to the, man, this is crazy. I even got an oil fill thing for it, and yeah, I don't even know if I need that. Well, I don't for the fill for sure, and I'll show you why, but to drain it, it's nice to have this because when you tip it to drain it out, which I have an extractor over there that I can use to extract the oil out, which I probably will. And the reason I'm talking about an oil change already is because, you know, you only run them, and then you have to change the oil because it's past the break-in point. All right, let's get back to what I was talking about. First of all, you see this dipstick looks like it's all shiny and everything. Yeah, that is oil, but that's just machining oil. That's machining oil. So there's no oil in there. So don't be confused saying, oh, I think somebody's already put oil in here. There may be some residue, but not very much. And they extended this spout all the way out to the edge to where if it drips, I mean, I already got my little cut rags up and everything to put underneath, because usually you have to catch the oil that goes down into the compartment. So this is a little bit different than what I'm used to. Yeah, well, I'll still do it just in case I have a little runoff or something weird like that. But basically, I need to fill the oil in there. Now, there's a couple different things that I do. First of all, I get a brand new quart of oil, obviously, and I mark the bottle. This is 32 ounces because it's a quart. This machine requires 14 ounces to completely full it, make it full, to fill it up. It requires 14 ounces. Well, if you take away 14 from 32, you're going to get 18. Now, at 18 ounces, it's not marked here. You have a 12 ounce, which you can't really see on camera here. I should have highlighted that. And then you have a 20 ounce right here. So each increment is basically 8 ounces. From 12 to 20 is 8. Well, if you divide that into 4, well, let's divide it into half first. Let's do it that way. So there's another 4. So 4 ounces from here to here. So 12 plus 4 gets you that halfway mark, because that's half of the 8 ounces that I just said is the difference between 12 and 20. That gets you to 16. Well, now you have another 4 to work with, and you're trying to get to 18. So that's right in the middle. And I just mark then on the bottle, the middle. So I know that when I pour out of this bottle and it gets to this line right here, then I have put in from here up 14 ounces of oil. All right, here's the thing. It also says, and you should know, that with all these generators that have these, what they call a stab oil check, you just put it in. You don't screw it in, you just put it in and then pull it out and read on the dipstick. They basically say that when this is up to the filler neck's edge, basically where it's trying to come out, or right at that point, then you're full. You are full at that point. Now you got to make sure that this is all level before you start doing all that. But the other thing is I'm looking at the bottle to make sure that I don't necessarily go over. Okay, here's where the thing comes in. This isn't probably exactly the amount that I'm saying, because they sometimes overfill the bottle, sometimes they underfill the bottles. That's why I kind of pay attention to where it's at in here. Again, just read the instructions and it'll tell you where to fill it. Now, if you want to be exactly precise, go find yourself a vial or a bottle or something that you can measure out exactly 14 ounces, and you can pour in exactly 14 ounces and go from there. That's not what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm showing you how not to do it. And then I'm going to do one more thing that you guys are going to go, what? What are you doing? Yeah. And that's tipping the machine. You guys probably freaking out now, right? Yeah, I tip these machines. Now, I usually have used to have a little spout that I could put on these to do this, but I don't. So I got to do it. I don't like doing it this way. Let me get a funnel real quick. So I guess I'll start with the funnel. I hate this. I hate the funnel because the funnel takes away from your measurement, because now I'm coating the funnel. I'm coating the funnel with oil. But we'll start it that way. Glug, 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 glug. Again, you see me tipping the machine, right? Well, it doesn't really make a difference because I'm not going to go below that line. Here you are. You can see I'm about 24 ounces. Go a little further. And I'm still quite a bit more. I mean, still a little bit. Let's dibble, dibble, dibble. Put a little dribble, and then I'll check it here. And I am just above that line, so I'll put just a little tiny bit in. And I am pretty much right on that line now. I know you're not going to be able to tell, but I'm really on that line. So this is where I pay attention to a lot of stuff now. I pull out this, making sure not to lose any. And then I'm watching as I put it back down into a level state on the tailgate of this truck. I watch and see, see how much oil's coming up. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a lot. So that tells me that this might be on a little bit of the full side. So that's what this is here for. So it's pretty much right there. I'll go ahead and put my my little rag there to catch it just in case. But it's pretty much right to the full part. I mean, that's about it. That really is about it. So I'm pretty darn close. Now, when I put the dipstick in there, it's going to displace some oil. It's not a big deal. And here's the thing. I could be just right. And what you should do is rotate the engine just slowly. Let's see if you can see this on camera here, but I'm going to rotate the engine just a little bit, because that may take the crankshaft and move it in a different position to where the oil don't come out as much. In this case, looks like it's coming out just as much as it was before. It's not over full though. Here's the dipstick that I'm putting on there. Why a magnetic dipstick? Because they work. I'll tell you what they don't do, and what you'll really hate is they don't stay cool. So when you're going to change your oil and the engine's hot, this is hot. This is really hot. Ask me how I know. I thought I was grabbing a plastic plug. That's why they give you a plastic one. And man, was that was a rude awakening. We'll go ahead and turn this in. I'll put the links down below for this stuff if you want to pick it up. And then I'll give it a couple little turns with this nice knurled knob. There we go. And I believe that's pretty tight, and we can consider the oil done. I'm going to put just a little bit more of a turn on it, because I think I can get more leverage with this thumb screw than I can necessarily with this knurled knob. Okay, we're good. We're good. I'm going a little bit overboard there. And again, the oil container is right at the mark. And I'll have basically this in a little bit to do my oil change when whenever I get to that point, whenever the engine is gone through its cycling and breaking in more than anything else. Remember, you want to break in, not broken. All we got to do now is start messing around with the fuel and making ourselves an extended run generator. Gosh darn it. And I'm going to run, hopefully, the rooftop air on this RV that's been running. It's at 15 amps. It's at the hardest that it's going to be at. When it's got to work really hard, that's whenever the amperage starts to climb, because the motor oil, or the oil for the compressor motor, starts to get hot. Everything expands. Everything gets a little bit tighter. That's where a lot of people are confused whenever they get their Honda and they put it on their generator, or they put it on their camper, and they fire it up and they go,
"Turn on the air, honey."
And she turns on the air inside and she goes,
"It's running and it's cold."
And he's like,
"Yeah, this thing's awesome. I don't have to do anything."
Well, you will after it cycles on and off about 3 or 4 times. It'll just start kicking off the generator. The generator has an overload set up on it, and it'll just go to overload. That's how the compressors work. So I've got this thing running on household current this whole time, and it's been just getting hammered out there because it's almost 90 degrees out there. And yeah, I'm gonna force this with that active start system that I have to see if it'll work. I bought these generator boxes. They are far cheaper, way cheaper than the buyer's box. This is the brand Arxon. I'll leave a link down below in the description. This is for a 30 by 17 by 18 box. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Now, if you want to save a little money, do not get the You don't get the black one. Just get the regular aluminum one. The generator and the buyers had to go in at an angle, and then it sat upright. Let's hope this works. Ugh. Go a little bit further. I'm still away from the wall, so I can do a little. Oh, there we go. Oh my word, it fits perfect. Holy cow, yes. This is the generator box, guys. This is the box. All I gotta do is, I got invents that are coming. Who knows when they're gonna come, but it fits in the box. Oh, I got one more thing I gotta check, and that's the other box for the fuel tank. If that fits, oh, I am golden. Man, I am so glad. How about that? You can see why I didn't want gas in it. When it came to the fuel, I just took an educated guess. And this one is a 24 by 17 by 17.71. So hopefully the fuel tank fits in here, because it's close. It's very close in dimension. Let me just tell you that. I do know that. As it was in the old one too. Yeah, it looks about the right size. Oh, I see. Look at, yeah, this is what they talked about. Look at that dent. The paint's coming off. That's a huge dent. And the whole side's caved in. I'm okay with it. Like I said, it's not too much of an issue for what I'm using this for. All right, let's see if this fuel tank fits in here. Unfortunately, the fuel tank's full. I went and got gas, and it's full. Now this one, I have to have it pointed to the left. And I remember that it was a weird way to get the fuel tank in. Ooh, this one's really tight. Ew, it's not. Oh, okay. I want everybody to put thumbs up down below. Hit the like button if you like the fact that I just showed you that you don't have to spend $900 on those buyer boxes to repeat and make the generator kit or the generator extended fuel tank system like I had before. Instead, you're only spending, what is that, $350 or $360 because I got black. Yeah, how cool is that? Okay, my camera's getting low. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the camera now because there's nothing more exciting except we're gonna see if this thing will run the air conditioner. That's gonna be a big thing. It's gotta run the air conditioner. Let me put gas in it, hook it all up, and see what happens. Okay, so I've been messing with this just a little bit, and I'm gonna be trying something that I haven't tried yet. And that is, it powered the air conditioner, but it made a weird gesture on here. It showed that the amps jumped up to something crazy like 30 amps for just a few, and then it dropped down to 13 amps to run the air conditioner. So I'm going to try to test this a little bit more, and what I'm going to do is I've got it on eco throttle. You see I've got the active start in place. Sure everything's plugged in. A lot less vibration inside, so much less what I remembered about it. I mean, you can hardly tell. The vibration actually of the air conditioner running is probably the same as what I feel inside the RV. There's kind of a low roar that goes on in here, and that's the way it was in our Rockwood. It was the exact same thing. I know it's kind of dark in here, but I wanted to keep off most of these lights because I have this stuff running over here, and of course the battery's being charged. Let's see what happens now on this app when I do this. So we're going to turn on the power. We're going to turn on the air. So the air's on cool. I've got it set to 70 degrees. Let's watch this app and see what it does. Now I've got it on eco throttle, so it should kick it off. It used to kick off on the Rockwood with the micro air easy starts. It didn't like to be on eco. Yeah, it kicked it off right away, immediately. Yeah, it don't like that. Yeah, look, active start's got all this. Look at the amps, current amps. I don't know what that means. All this stuff, it overloaded it. It overloaded that device. Let's go, I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back in, and we'll see what happens here. I'm a little far away. Okay, I'm connected. So we're back to having something. I gotta wait for it to kick on and for the RV to reset. Wonder if there's something happened out there. That was strange. Okay, so we just kicked back on everything just turned back on. The air, the whole shooting match. So here's what I don't like about this. And again, it's one of those things that once you have things a certain way, you know, you kind of like those things. I used to be able to run my micro air easy starts. I used to be able to run the air conditioners with them and leave them on eco mode. I don't know if I like that, because there's a lot of times that we go to bed at night, it might be, I don't know, maybe 80 degrees in the rig whenever we first get in it, and the thing is just running its butt off. You know, the generator's just power and running its butt off. And then during the night it cools off and it gets into, you know, the 70s, and maybe we only have the air set to 73. So what happens is the fan will continue to run on the rooftop air, maybe, and it'll turn off the air compressor. Well, then the eco mode recognizes that I don't have a big demand on it, and it will back off the generator, and it runs really quiet. Yeah, I don't like that. Not sure what to do with that. All right, well, we'll play around with this some more and see if we can come up with something. We may have the house a little bit colder than what we should, because we got blankets out. So the good news is I get to return this, because the Honda already has that setup already in it through the Bluetooth app. So I already told Heidi what we'd have to do, and it's get a micro air easy start.
Blur it out.
I'll have to blur that out, because she was telling,
Inappropriate.
she's telling me it was number one. But other than that, everything's good. All the boxes are good.
Which, that's a good thing.
The generator's nice, obviously. It should be for that money.
What was it? 1,000?
No, that's the companion model. It was 13. I'm sure I could have got it for $100 less somewhere if I found it on sale or something. Yeah, there's no.
You might need that for the micro sticks, whatever it's called.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna have to do, is unfortunately run. And here's the thing that I don't understand is Active Start in their instructions through, I should say maybe their website. Yeah, it's their website under FAQ. The one question that they have shown on there is, can I use a micro air easy start with the Active Start? And they say, yes, you can. And I don't understand that. I'm confused by that. So that doesn't make any sense, because I essentially thought they did the same thing. Now listen.
It drives me crazy, because you need all this stuff to make.
Just boondock.
Yeah, I mean, you need stuff for stuff.
Right. Well, this is what happens when I know a little bit more than what most do.
Yeah, I know, but I don't try to understand what Michael tells me.
So here's the other option to the whole thing. We run the Champion. That's the answer. We just run the Champion generator. I can't put, that's 110 pounds. I can't
Yeah,
put
well,
that on the back of the RV.
Well, even if you could, then you're with the bigger box, and it's going to be a big box.
I don't even know. I don't even know about a box.
Right.
That's
it's
beyond.
huge.
Yeah, I mean, they make boxes that'll fit, but can you
may
imagine
have
that
to
on the
sell
rear
that
bumper? They don't make it anymore. I'm not going to, because I was
Well,
telling the camera.
That Mercedes might need it one day.
Well, we'll still use it, I'm sure, somehow. And here's the thing. I'd already told the camera earlier, you know, for people contemplating which generator they may need and stuff like that, I already told them flat out, if you have a fifth wheel, that's the generator.
Yeah, it worked good.
It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect for what we did.
Yeah.
So, what happens when we get a fifth wheel?
Whatever.
Heidi says she's
I'm
buying.
tired of the circle stuff.
She's wanting to go get a fifth wheel tomorrow, and I keep on telling her, you have to
I'm
wait.
against it.
And I told her the same with the generator. I said, you can wait. She's like, no.
It's the complete opposite.
It is the opposite. But anyways, good news is we're moving forward, and
We'll only be able to afford the boondock. Just kidding.
which
But
we enjoyed that.
we can learn how to boondock in Ohio during the summer, or we're maybe somewhere else.
No, they have that AEP down in southern
we never
Ohio.
tried it.
Yeah, we never tried that down there.
Plus, there's
But
a lot of
we
places.
boondocked at the rest area.
I can take it down to my mom's for the 4th if we wanted.
Yeah, we could. I don't think we need to, because your mom's got a whole house.
Well, right.
But
She needs a new bathroom.
yeah, so our next step is, as far as the RV, the next thing that is absolutely needed that we can't get around.
What's that? I don't know.
Say it with me.
I don't know. Just say it.
Go ahead.
Beat
You
around
know.
the bush.
You
I
know.
don't know.
Okay, let's pretend we're going and staying tonight at the campground. What's the first thing you think of?
I don't know. I don't know.
What do we really need to stay in it at the campground?
A mattress.
A mattress. So we're trying to get around that somehow. That's rough. That mattress is rough.
I wish we had I don't know.
I don't even know what to wish for, to tell you the truth. We're doing a lot of wishing. Okay, I'm going to let Heidi go back to her Facebooking. Do you want this in your purse? Because it has to be returned to Staples. Or your backpack.
You can just put it on the table and I'll get it.
Okay. All right.
It don't matter. Set it on top of my purse in my bag.
Okay. Everybody say bye to Heidi.
Bye.
Morning, YouTube. I don't know how many wonderful days Ohio can have, but they're sure trying to pack them all in here. Heidi's at work. She only works, I think, 8 hours today, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. I know that it's a shorter day for her, but I don't remember how many hours that comes out to be. So the humidity today is real low, extremely low, which I guess we've got a few days of that. It's going to, the dew point is down into the 50s right now. So it's very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not bad. So the other thing, I need to start working on these boxes. I also am entertaining the thought of maybe putting a heavier piece of plywood, but this is a pretty good piece of plywood here. I don't want to turn on too many lights. I hate running the air and then turning on lights in here. Oh, yeah, there it is. I like these little tape measures. They seem to be just a little bit better than some of the other ones. So we're 5/8 of an inch. 5/8, that's what flooring is. That's what this is is flooring. 5/8. 5/8 should be okay, right? That's pretty sturdy. That should handle quite a bit. I don't think I have to get to like a 3/4 or 1 inch. Let's see what the, definitely, I seriously doubt a 1 inch, but let's see what a 3/4 would do. 3/4 might be the right size. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, and the generator's nice and cool. I should pull the truck over around, because the truck is my tailgate. I work on my tailgate. I gotta move the golf cart though to do so. And then I can look at this generator to putting on this exhaust stub. Thing is I don't have a welder anymore. That's so sad. So sad. See, this is the thing about doing projects when, you know, it's not the same as it was before. I had a whole shop, a complete shop, and everything went a lot easier. I had somebody ask about this, and I forgot to show this yesterday. There's not much difference in these two generators, just to let you know, as far as size, but they're different in so many other ways. This one here has I don't know, 120 some cc engine. I think it's a 123 cc engine, and this one's in the 140 range. This one's obviously louder than this super quiet one. Guess what? This one weighs less. Go figure that out. But only by 1.5 pounds. Can you believe that? So this one here puts out, you know, the traditional 15 amp continuous running, which you can get away sometimes with a little bit more. This one here is completely different when it comes to that. This is, as it indicates, a 4,000 watt peak generator. And we'll flip these around. And you can see the plug that comes with this one is a 30 amp, right? This is only 30 if you have a companion, if you have another parallel generator to it. Now you can plug into it like I do, but it's not 30 amps. This one here, you can get 30 amps out of it. Of course, it's only a peak, but you can see 4,000 starting watts, 3,200 running watts. This one here is 2,200 starting watts, but only about 1,800 running watts. So there's definitely a difference there. They both have eco mode. They both have Bluetooth. This one, you can see the size is slightly bigger. Not much though. I mean, it's just slightly taller, slightly wider, slightly longer. But you get a lot for your money, because this one here you can get for $600. I mean, this one, you get 2 of these for 1 of these. Isn't that crazy? But again, you know, reliability, being a little bit quieter. This one runs at a pretty good speed. It's pretty high RPM. There's definitely more vibration that I could feel being translated into the RV. But it's nice. I mean, it's still, don't get me wrong, this has a lot of, you know, positive attributes for what it is. And you get into the money situation and it's like, wow. Now, I know what you guys are probably saying. Will it fit inside the generator box you just bought? I doubt it. Everything about it's bigger, and that handle being taller, I really don't think it would fit in there. And I don't want to manhandle that to try it, tell you the truth. So just consider it no, it doesn't fit in there. And even if it did, the whole idea behind the box is so that I can run an extended amount of time by running an auxiliary fuel tank to go along with it, which this one has. But it requires a fuel pump to be mounted on the top, and it's just too much. The fuel pump is too much. It stands up about so tall. It would never fit inside that box. So you'd have to get a much taller box, and now you're into more money, and it kind of, you know, changes the whole reason you would get this in the first place. Now, there's people that say, and I don't disagree with this, there's people that say, well, it's so inexpensive, you know, why don't you just put some sort of makeshift cover over it and just mount it. Just mount it down to a board, strap it down or whatever, and try to secure it as best as possible. I get it, you know, and kind of leave it out in the weather for the most part. And they do give you a cover with this whenever you buy it, but I don't know. I don't think so. I like the Honda. I like the simplicity of it. I like how quiet it is. I like all the aftermarket stuff that you can get for it. And in this case, an exhaust that bolts to it, and once you weld the stub on, that will extend the exhaust away from the RV and out of the box. I mean, all this stuff is good reasons to go with the Honda, but money-wise, if you're just looking for a portable generator, this one only weighs 1.5 pounds more. It costs $500 to $600 less. It puts out more power. It has what I consider a better app. This app here doesn't tell me how much fuel is left in my fuel tank. This one does. The app that's on here does not tell me the RPMs that it's running. This one does. There's very little that these things do, that this app does, that I like. Now, and I'll name that one thing. I can shut it off. I can just shut it off remotely. But this one, I can turn on and off eco mode. This one I cannot. I got to manually do it. So there's something to be said about that. And again, I can hook this up to to that box that I have over there, and it'll run. It'll run, and it won't shut down or shut off or anything. It powers the air conditioner just fine. This one, not so much, and I'm hoping to get around that. What I ran into, though, was a problem with the generator cap. The cap that I bought for the extended gas tank, it didn't seal. It came off. I don't know how else to describe that, but that's what happened. It just wouldn't stay on. So I went ahead and went down to the hardware store, and this externally, just ignore this. I had to buy a fitting that was a little bit longer than what was in the kit. This is a plastic weld, and it cures in a couple hours, which it's been a couple hours. Just to show you, here's the leftover what I had, and listen how hard this is here. I mean, it's like a little rock. So I made the putty, I pushed it down in there, but I did a lot of other stuff too. I used a step bit, and I drilled out the cap. This was kind of a gamble because this is a $40 cap. So I drilled out the cap, and then I and there was a small vent hole down inside the cap. I took my soldering iron and I just touched it up a little bit to seal it over. And then you can see here on the edge, I had to do the same. There was 3 holes that were on this cap. I'm trying to get some light on it. There were 3 holes that were on this cap that vented to the other side of the cap, and I went ahead and covered those up with a soldering iron. I just touched that. Then I went ahead, and the hole that I did with the step bit was bigger at the top, not so much at the bottom, and it was awful tight. So what I did at that point was I put some gloves on, and I took my torch and I heated up this pipe just a little bit, just enough to help thread it down into the cap. I threaded it into the cap, and the heat went ahead and made the threads that I needed, because the hole that I had step bit was much smaller than what it called for. So it was very, very, very tight. Then, before I threaded it in, once it cooled off, I threaded it back out. I got some Loctite, some high temp Loctite that I had just laying around, and I went ahead and put it all over the threads, and then ran it back down into And you can kind of see residue of that in there. That's Loctite that's in there. So I ran that down in there and made it snug, very, very snug. Then of course I put this hard plastic weld in there, and it's cured. So now it's all sealed with the fitting that I need, and this is the plastic cap with the correct gasket. So this should work much better than what's going on there.